700-year-old haunted fort. With its location along the lower Elts River, Berg Elts was constructed in the 12th century to have a commanding view of the Elsbach Valley and the River Elts, which ran around the base of the castle on 3 sides. The castle was constructed on top of a rock that was an impressive 70 meters in height. Among the few Rhenish castles that have never been demolished, Berg Elts is one of the few. Even though the French destroyed the majority of the Rhine castles during the 30 Years' War, the fortress was able to avoid war thanks to the excellent diplomacy that was employed. It is said that the castle has a resident ghost, even though it has been quite peaceful throughout the years. Berg Elts can be found in the Eltstal region, close to the Mosel River, where it is situated between Koblenz and Cochem. Getting to the castle by automobile is the most usual method of transportation, and there is a sufficient amount of parking available at the location. There is also the possibility of taking a bus that travels directly from Münstermayfeld to Wiershem. It was in the 12th century when the Elts family made their initial move into the property. The construction that was designed in the style of a fortress was an essential component of the empire that was ruled by Frederick Barbarossa during this early period. Everything revolved around its location. The Elts family took advantage of the profitable income that the castle and the communities that surrounded it afforded by their location along the trade route that led from the Moselle Valley to the Eifel region. This, of course, was a significant contributor to the financing of the repairs and additions that were made to Berg Elts over several centuries. In 1472, the Rubenach mansion was finished being constructed on the site. The lower hall and bedchambers, which were constructed in the late Gothic style, are still open for tourists to see, with their original elements and walls that have been lavishly embellished over the years. The Greater Rodendorf house component of the castle was finished by Philip zu Elst by the year 1520. It was a 10-story structure. The flag hall, which was constructed in the Gothic style and features a massive vaulted ceiling, is the oldest section of the structure. In 1615, the construction of the Kempenich mansion took place, which resulted in the replacement of the ancient main hall of the castle. In this area of Berg, which was decades ahead of its time, every single room was heated, which resulted in an exceptional level of comfort. During the subsequent 200 years, Elst Castle underwent very little change, and the structure that we see now can be firmly traced to the construction activities that were completed earlier. To put this into perspective, by the 19th century, there was an urgent need for restoration activity. Count Karl zu Elst took the initiative, and between the years 1845 and 1888, 18,000 marks, which is equivalent to nearly 15 million euros in today's currency, were spent on restoring the castle to its former magnificence during the medieval period. A daughter named Agnes was born to the 15th Count of Elst. She was a strong-willed young lady who enjoyed playing as a knight with her brothers rather than dressed up in gorgeous attire. Agnes was nurtured by her brothers, by the standard practice of the time, and to bolster the position of the family, her father made a marriage pledge to the Knight of Braunsberg. Agnes met the boy she was going to marry, but she found him uninteresting and distant, so she decided to ignore him. After some time had passed, he received an invitation to attend a great festival that was held at the castle in anticipation of the wedding. When Braunsberg finally reached the point where he could not tolerate it any longer, Agnes made another attempt to ignore him during the festivities. He eventually took her to the dance floor and kissed her. As she hit him across the face, her initial reaction was swift and decisive. Furious, the ashamed knight hurled his gloves at the feet of the Elst family and rushed out of the castle. He was furious because he had been embarrassed. They waited anxiously, making preparations to defend both the castle and Agnes, because they were anticipating that the knight would come back and attack the castle as a result of the contempt that he had received from Agnes. After several months had passed with no sign of the knight, the males of the family began to take it easy and headed out on a hunting excursion that would last for 3 days. Knights under the direction of Braunsberg staged an assault on the castle on that particular night, resulting in the deaths of the guardsmen. Agnes was not going to stand by and watch her house be attacked, so she put on the armor that belonged to her brother and went out to fight at the same time. The moment she got face to face with Knight Braunsberg, she immediately began assaulting him. However, he was unaware that Agnes was hiding behind the armor, so he fought back and struck her in the chest, causing her to collapse and ultimately pass away. In the moment that he understood what he had done, he lifted the visor that was on her helmet and ran away from the castle, never to be seen again. Agnes, who had become accustomed to imitating her brothers, who were considered to be warriors, stepped into a suit of armor and started fighting back. Even though Braunsberg was unaware that his fiancée was hiding behind the mask, she courageously confronted him and fought. But the knight struck Agnes with a blow that proved to be deadly, and she was murdered during the standoff. Many people have reported seeing the spirits of Agnes and Braunsberg over the years. These ghosts belong to the same family. Her phantom can be seen walking around the entrance to the castle while wearing her armor during the entire process. His appearance is that of a ghostly horseman, riding beyond the gates in an attempt to be pardoned for what he has done. It is the Countess' room, which once belonged to Agnes, that is considered to be the most haunted room in Burgeltz. Both the combat axe and the armor that she was wearing when she passed away are still there in the chamber. It has been said by the personnel of the castle that Agnes is also known to roam the corridors, turning lights on and off and opening doors that are closed in the middle of the night. Not only have there been reports of a phantom knight riding a horse that has been spotted at the castle gate, but there are also speculations that it could be Knight Braunsberg making his way back to the castle in an attempt to ask Agnes for forgiveness. Today, we will be going to Eltz Castle. Between April and October, the Rubbenacht and Rodendorf areas of the castle are open to the general public on a seasonal basis. Because the Kempenich branch of the family uses the remaining third of the castle for the entire year, this portion of the castle is not open to the general public. Because there is a great deal of history to take in, and the descriptions of objects are in German, it is highly recommended that you make reservations for a guided tour of the castle, which costs €10 per adult. During these, you will be guided around a number of ornate chambers that are packed with original objects, paintings, and furniture. These tours last for 45 minutes. In addition, the tour includes a visit to the treasury, which houses a great collection of gold and silver objects. Outside of the tour, guests are welcome to look about the armory on their own. The collection of old weaponry, cannons, and suits of armor that this possesses is among the most fascinating things in the world. The usual opening hours are from 9:30 in the morning until 5:30 in the evening. However, it is better to contact the official website for specific dates and times because these alterations occur throughout the season. Therefore, if you want to avoid the crowds, you should travel there early in the summer because it does get really busy. There is no need to purchase an entrance ticket to tour the castle courtyard. Did you like it? Tell us what you think of the video in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos.